Hello, this is the absolute first beginning of the meeting. Um, Welcome to the Art of Songwriting, December 2023. Thanks everybody for coming. How's everybody doing?
I'm fine. We're doing
Great.
good.
See everybody.
I'm doing good.
Great.
Rutabaga.
Carrots and peas, carrots and peas, carrots and peas.
In the house tonight, we've got, as usual, Peter Lloyd and David Lloyd, but we've also got David Hirschberg, Tom Gilker, and Gutfreund, Victor Harrison, Rick Lisak, and Jason Liles. Thanks everybody for showing up. We have got 5 songs for you tonight. It's going to be fun. We got and another good variety of too. We've got well, you'll see. As always, I want to start with our segment called "Show Me or Your Axe." This is the part that almost got us banned on YouTube, right? No, I said axe, A-X-E.
I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Up first tonight is Tom Gilker, who I believe has a homemade guitar to show us.
Yeah, let me see if I can find that around here.
This will happen to have it right here.
Yeah, this is my homemade axe. I actually went to a Lutheran school, and it was 2 weeks long, and I walked in, and there was a pile of wood sitting on my workbench, and then this is what I came home with. But since I got it home, because I'm going to be building more of these, so I had a friend design a little logo for me, and that's the logo I'm going to put on my headstocks. It's like a backwards G and a forwards G for Gilker guitars.
Nice.
Clever logo.
Gaga.
And just to tell you a little bit about it, it's made out of this beautiful flamed maple, and the top is Sitka spruce, mahogany neck, and an A fretboard. And then I used a little bit of bird's eye maple for the headstock cover there. So anyway, it's got a nice sound. The braces were all hand carved and shaped to enhance the sound. We learned a little technique there of tap tuning, which you just hold the top of the guitar, just the one thin piece of wood there as you're working on the braces, and you just hold it by the sound hole and kind of tap on the wood and see how it resonates until you get the sound you want. So that's why handmade, custom-made guitars sound so much better than the $200 guitar from a factory in China or something. Nothing wrong with that, but so anyway, that's my axe. This is the one I play like all the time now. I got a nice Martin sitting here, and I never play it anymore because I love this one. So there you have it.
So I didn't hear what you said. What's the fingerboard made of?
Ebony.
Ebony. Wow. So where did you procure all this nice wood?
Well, this Lutheran school that I went to had the wood. So
What's the name of that school?
Huh?
What's the name of that school?
They're no longer around. This was about, when was this? It was about 10 years ago. And the name of the school is Whetstone School of Lutheran, and they were in Brattleboro, Vermont. I drove up to Vermont and spent 2 weeks up there.
Nice.
Nice. It was really nice.
Hey, Peter, I think we went through Brattleboro.
Did we?
I think so, yeah.
Wow.
On
So-
our excursion.
So Tom, I need to say this. You introduced it by saying you walked into Luther School and there was a pile of wood.
Yes.
And I just imagined myself in the same position. And then I imagined myself turning around and walking right back out.
Well, no, David, you would have built a piano out of it.
Nope.
No,
I'm impressed.
it was very pleasurable, and it was I don't know if it's one of the most exciting things I've ever done, but it ranks up there pretty well. I do have a background of working with my hands. I was a tool and die maker for the first part of my career.
Oh,
So, I'm familiar with, although that was making things out of steel and aluminum and things like that, but it's not a real hard transition to wood. And now I have a wood shop at my house, so I do a fair amount of woodworking too.
nice.
I've
Yeah.
seen it. Yep.
So,
Yeah,
so
yeah, but-
you built it in the 2 weeks. You built it in the 2 weeks that you were there.
Yes, but
Really?
Did you break any parts that they had to replace as you were doing it?
yeah.
Wow, that's a heck of a first effort.
Yeah,
Yes.
I couldn't have been happier with it, to tell you the truth, because I didn't know
Wow.
I didn't know if I'd be coming home with something playable or not, but
Wow,
not
wow,
only playable, but it is the guitar I play out at all my gigs. And
wow.
Wow, that's cool.
That's
Have
really
have you
great.
built others?
no, I haven't. I was starting to say that in my little wood shop down there that I set up around the time I retired. I have been in the course of building fixtures for building guitar. Like I have 3 different styles of wood bending fixtures that I've built, and some gluing fixtures, like brace gluing fixtures and things like that. So I've been kind of gearing up for it, and I hope to start building more of these things.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's great.
Nice.
It is great.
Really nice. Did you check out Bashkin's website and his
Yes, I did. Yeah. Oh my God, the inlay and stuff he does. He
yeah.
makes some beautiful guitars. In a conversation that Victor and I were having, he was telling me about a luthier out by you. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's actually my cousin.
Oh, not Longmont, Fort Collins. Right?
He's in Fort Collins, yeah. Yeah. He's a real interesting guy, and I think I told you he does a series of called Luthier around Luthier.
Mhm.
He moderates them. He's done I don't know how many. He's talking to luthiers all over the place. You can find it on any Aha, I think is on one of these sites that have all the what are they called, the video documentaries. And
YouTube?
well, it's not, he's probably on YouTube as well, but he does this series Luthier around Luthier, where he interviews all these guitar makers from around the world. And it's on, I think, AHA is one of the apps that you can get that have all of these different types of interviews. And there's a name for it. It's slipping my mind.
Like podcasts or
Well, yeah.
Podcasts, yeah.
Yeah.
Podcasts, So he's been doing it for a while. He's really kind of an intellectual about this whole thing. He's really, a student of the wood. He studied forestry. That's how he got into starting making guitars. So he knows about woods from all over the world. He collects them and knows where to procure them and cure them. And he builds all these little, jigs like you do, and tools. And he knows all the people that make all the other tools that support, the building of the guitar and other, wooden musical instruments. So the next time you come to Colorado, we'll go up there and visit him in his studio.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, Tom, and thanks, Victor. That's cool. I wish I'd gone first though, because I don't really have much to say. I didn't make this guitar. I'll go next year. I haven't shared one yet since we've been doing this little segment.
Dave, just real quick, you now understand why I was so ready to get up and show you my axe.
Yeah. Definitely. That's really cool. I mean, I'm sure. Yeah. If I couldn't make much more than a cardboard box with a stick tied to it. But what I've got here is a guitar called Rains guitar, Raine. Matt Rains, I think, is the maker. I haven't had it that long, but I got it recently from a friend of mine who was teaching me some stuff on jazz guitar, like how to play. This shit Sandy does that chords and melody.
yeah. And David, I don't think we can hear your guitar playing. Do you have the?
Oh, possibly, yeah. That's possible. I don't have that on. Well, that's okay. I don't really want to play much for you.
Okay.
Just want to show it to you. What I like about it is that it's the first actual some electric hollow body that I've owned. It's the first like red guitar.
Yeah.
No, but it's really is a beautiful guitar. It's got these nice flat wound strings on it. It's great for playing jazz. A couple humbucker pickups.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just been really helpful. I like that I can play it really aggressively and still get no noise from it. Oh yeah, you said you wanted to. Let me put that setting on. Let's see here.
So how did you come upon that guitar?
That also has a pretty funny story. Let's see here. I do have the musician's mode on. I came about it because when I went to my first guitar lesson with my Les Paul, I went to tune it up and I started to tune one of the, I think it was the D string, and the tuning peg popped and broke.
Oh.
And so I borrowed this guitar and I took it home to play it for a while, since I didn't have that tuning key working, and I really got to like it. My friend Greg had also purchased himself another guitar recently, so I think I actually helped him pay off that guitar by buying this one from him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's hold it up a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Let me come back here. It's
So show what's the back look like?
sorry, we got a rosewood fretboard there, just plain
Oh
red on the
wow,
back,
wow.
Beautiful.
double bindings. Oh, it really is something to look at. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
different, very different. And where is it made?
See that. I had that pulled up because I didn't know much about this maker. In
Yeah,
fact,
I've never heard of that maker. That's what I was wondering.
That's an R up there at front, Reigns.
Kind of hard to see. So yeah.
You got a reflection, but
Yeah.
See here, where is he? There's his map. Reigns Guitars is in Texas.
Texas, huh?
That's unless they're
The red state.
red guitars, yes.
Red guitar.
yeah, I wish I knew more would say about it than yeah.
I could probably fix that tuning peg on your Les Paul if you ever wanted to.
Ah, ooh, nice.
There you go. He's a tool and die maker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, I think it really not much is wrong with just a new one, a nice replacement.
Yeah.
But in fact, I'll go ahead and show it to you.
It went spoiling.
I didn't mean to hijack the meeting with that simple.
No, we're having fun.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, it's so you can see that it just popped right off there.
Ooh.
Huh. Wow.
Probably just put a new one on. I've had to get like I work on other people's guitars too. That's why I haven't been building, but every now and then you'll get something like that, and I have found eBay to be a pretty good source for finding like one-off kind of pieces. Got a tuner from a guitar, that I don't have that tuner in my house or anything, so it probably wouldn't be that hard to find a tuner for an Epiphone or a Gibson rather.
Hey, David, did you ever solve that problem with the pick up the battery pop out thing in one of your back of your guitars? Because Tom could do that.
Oh man, that's something else. No, I didn't end up changing that or altering that guitar.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll show you that one some other time. The electric fretless bass. Yeah, that'd be a great one to show sometime. All right. Well, before I break another thing here, let's move on. And thanks for showing us your axes, everybody. Now, let's move on to our first piece of the night. This one is by Jason Liles, and I'll let him talk about it. He says he brought it up as a jingle. That's what he called it a moment ago.
Yeah, and I mean that's what it is. So my sister-in-law co-founded a startup, and it's called Real Roots. and they help people, make friends. And so I was just, playing on the guitar one morning, and I just kind of came up with a little jingle, and some lyrics came to me, and I just kind of recorded it, and thought it was pretty good, and so just thought I'd share with the group. So too bad I don't have any lyrics typed up for it, but I think I sang it clear enough.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Making friends as an adult ain't easy. Why is it so hard to do? To find someone like me that likes having fun when they're free, who will meet up for a drink in the afternoon. Oh, making friends as an adult ain't easy, and that's why there's Real Roots, where you'll find friends and the boredom of life ends. Sign up today, you'll be glad you did.
Ah,
Very nice.
very nice. You want to hear it again, folks?
Yeah.
Why not?
Sure.
Making friends as an adult ain't easy. Why is it so hard to do? To find someone like me that likes having fun when they're free, who will meet up for a drink in the afternoon. Oh, making friends as an adult ain't easy, and that's why there's Real Roots, where you'll find friends and the boredom of life ends. Sign up today, you'll be glad you did.
I want one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sold.
So has it gotten any airplay?
No, in fact, I'm going to do a recording at some point for her. I just haven't had a chance
Yeah.
to record it. But I just thought it was fun. I was doing a little picking exercise, and just was kind of walking down to G, and it's kind of her like, oh, making friends, and just kind of came together.
Ooh.
That's cool. I know. I'm sorry. I must have spaced out a moment ago. What did she ask you to do this, or you were talking about it and you just
No.
notion? Yeah.
It was just something like my wife and I just, get updates from her pretty frequently. So it's just something that was kind of on my mind, and, was just thinking about, her story. And she recently actually just raised money for her company. So we're really excited for her. So she's doing really well.
Oh, good.
And, but anyway, it was just kind of, on my mind when I was practicing doing some finger picking stuff, and then just kind of came up with that little melody, and just kind of thought, boy, this is kind of funny. And then the lyrics just came to me. So I just wrote them down, and then I sang it. I actually, this is pretty good. So anyway, I just want to share with the group. I've got a lot of other things I'm working on too, but just nothing recorded yet. And, still finalizing lyrics, but this coming year, I think I'm excited to share some more. So
Good.
more on the way.
I like that, Jason. I thought there was not only did you manage to write an interesting sounding piece, and by the way, Real Roots, that sounds like an exercise you should do, right, on guitar with it.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, you packed a lot of good commercial aspect in there with your lyrics. It's funny how you said you at one point had difficulty writing lyrics, but in the space of 36 seconds, you told us exactly you communicated the problem.
Yeah. Well, I think, and that's what's interesting with lyrics to me. I think I've realized the lyrics are, you can use processes, I think, to figure those out. For me, it's like getting the right concept and like matching that concept to the music. And then for me, like the lyrics are the final details, like the last touches I try to put on something. And this one was just so clear. Like I knew kind of, and in fact, I was trying to make it like a 30-second pitch, because you need to be able to talk about your company like that. And like, this is what you'd say about the company, and then just put that to lyrics. So I think for me that it also just kind of highlights what I now kind of understand about it. It's like when I have a clear idea of what I want to say, the lyrics kind of be so much easier. And I used to spend so much time just trying to pull the right line out of thin air, but really I just think it really boils down to, well, like, what's the story? What am I trying to say? And like how, thinking through it more that way. But anyway, it's also just kind of, I guess, like 20 minutes, so I think sometimes you just it just comes to you, but I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
The commercial in the head.
I just wanted to mention that what's aside from it being a really nice, the background to it's nice. There's a nice melody that flows with the words and flows. So it's nice. I can remember
nice.
it, and I have short-term memory issues.
Rick Lisak and I have done a lot of that, right, Rick?
We sure have.
Yeah, I've got one that I wish I could find because I really, really like the lyrics. Seltzer's World of Camping. I'm sure you've done a mess of them, huh, Rick?
Well, yeah, and the best ones never made it.
Oh no.
Yeah. I mean, it's the jingle business was great except for the clients. Just eliminate them. We'd be much better off.
That was a saying in my career was, man, we could make some great ads that weren't for clients. I mean, I know. Make the logo bigger was the name of the book I'm going to write about advertising.
That's great. Make the logo bigger.
Make the logo
great title.
bigger.
That's a good one.
And I hate it when they say, "Oh, I don't know if I got to give it more. Just give it more. I don't know, pizzazz."
Yeah, there's just too many notes. Can you take away some of the notes?
Yeah, take away. Yeah. Could you say our name again one more time?
My wife thinks that it sounds too slow.
Yeah. Oh, the best one I've got is we did a thing, and with a Martian or something in it, and that doesn't sound like a Martian. When did you hear a Martian? But anyway, that's a whole nother tangent. But
another life.
Another life. Yeah, it was fun and a good discipline. By the way, I think advertising help. You have to say a lot and get the job done in a short and a close amount of time. It's a good discipline.
Oh,
and somebody was writing something to me and sent it to me and said, it would have been shorter, but I ran out of time. It's more difficult to write concisely and get your point across. Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Good job, Jason. Good job.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, you start a business doing jingles in Las Vegas.
I know, I was just thinking, dude, I've got some some good like accident attorney songs I feel like I could crank out.
Ambulance chasers. Huh?
Yeah, I know.
Don't sell them, license them.
Yes.
License them. Don't sell them.
Yeah.
No.
You can have fun because prostitution's legal there, right?
There you go.
Really
just
nice
the county
jingles.
over. Yeah, that's true.
Every hooker needs a jingle.
It's got to have a good hook too. Yeah.
All
All right.
So what do you do for a living? Well,
Write jingles for hookers. Come see about me. Yeah.
So let's see here. Thanks for sharing that. And next, I'd like to go with a David Hirschberg song. Oh, but I also wanted to mention I saw a note in the chat that Ed Gutfreund sent something your way, Dad.
Yeah, okay. All right. Thanks. I'll look it up. Thanks for watching that.
Let's see here. So yeah, let's go with David Hirschberg's "Still I Cry" next. David, was there something you'd like to tell us about the song?
There's a lot I'd like to tell you about it. But why don't we just listen to
30
it?
seconds.
And then we'll see what comes up. Yeah, it's the usual stuff. Just want to know if it makes sense to people. So,
okay. So you're looking for a little input? Good.
Well, yeah, I'm looking for
Cool.
input. Sure. I'm looking for compliments.
There's an honest man.
Right, everybody, get your compliments ready.
Yeah, you didn't get them from Peter, did you?
Apparently not.
That's not fair. I didn't. Well, never mind.
We reciprocated.
Ready?
It's okay.
Let's roll.
Excuse me.
I read he died. Well, I'm okay.
He never claimed me as his kin. His thought was have me swept away. But Mom held fast, she loved their sin. The court said he should pay, he did. I went to college on his dime. He kept his other family hid. In 30 years, we talked 3 times. No grief or tears or respects to give. He's dead, I live. Don't know what to feel or why. No tears left, but still I cry. Had lunch one day when I was grown, mumbling handshake, evading eyes. Conversation hard as stone. No promises or redeeming lies. No grief or tears or respects to give. He's dead, I live. Don't know what to feel or why. No tears left, but still I cry. Most blood runs deep and hot and red, but some is weak and thin as dye. Try not to judge or hate the dead. I heard he was a decent guy. No grief or tears or respects to give. He's dead, I live. Don't know what to feel or why. No tears left, but still I cry. No tears for him, but still I cry. No tears, no goodbyes. I understand. I understand. I understand, but still I cry.
Nice.
Cool. Cool. Yeah. I like it. I think, but when I looked at the title, I didn't know. I was like, is this going to be a sad song? Then I get into it, I'm feeling it's sarcastic. It's kind of sad. It's kind of bordering the two. I don't know. That's something I want to say before I kind of kick it off. I also really like your drum beats too.
Oh, I love that jungle beat.
Yeah.
That's a real jungle beat you got going on, Dave. That's great. It's really good. Did you just assemble that with the?
I pushed the right buttons, and if that didn't work, I pushed other buttons until the buttons sounded. Yeah, it just sort of developed. I mean, actually, it was conceived as a blues song. And I was thinking, boy, if Jason lived next door, I know what I would do with this song. But the more I got into it, the more sort of primal I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Jason could have done that too, but he wasn't next door.
Do you do all that on the keyboard? You do all those multi
Most of the drums is, well, actually all the drums is the Logic drummer, the Logic Pro drummer. I mean, there are things that there are a lot of options and there are a lot of ways of changing things around. There are a lot of choices you have to make. And sometimes you just have to get lucky.
Yeah,
So
that is a killer drum track.
yeah, it's thanks. I mean, it's a lot, I didn't, the beauty of making it like that is you can not necessarily have anything fixed in mind, or you don't have to, when you're working with someone, you don't have to say, give me this or this or this. You can just play with it until you get what you want.
I know, it's good. I mean, and some of the stuff that we worked on together, some of that Lafitte's Tango, those little kicks and the stuff there was tremendous.
Yeah. Thanks, though.
It's a real craft.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, it changes in the chorus, and so it really boosts the song. And then I also really loved how you ended it as well. So, yeah,
energetic as hell.
Yeah,
It's a hefty story, David.
Yeah.
It's kind of a true story. Not my
yeah.
story, but it's someone else's. Yeah. Well, the story is basically there was when I was a lawyer, I worked on a paternity case for a guy, and he's the nicest guy in the world. He's a great guy. He was just a lot of fun, but he had a kid out of wedlock, and he wasn't going to acknowledge him at first, but he ended up acknowledging. He ended up paying. He did everything he was supposed to do, but he would never spend time with him. He would never, or he would very rarely contact him. And this fellow died a few months ago. And when I went to the funeral, I noticed the kids, his other children were listed, in the brochure they give you. And I looked at the obituary, and they mentioned his children, and this child was not mentioned.
Oh.
And so that's where it came from.
Very well done then. Yeah.
So then I'm feeling like that sarcastic hint I got was placed there, right? It's like there's a little bit like, I don't care, like this person who's gone did something wrong, did something, that left a mark. Feels.
To me, when I was writing this, I was just thinking of him having all these multiple emotions, all these mixed up sort of various sets of emotions. And that's actually what I liked about the way the drums worked, especially at the end, just sort of all this roiling stuff under the surface that doesn't quite have a resolution, but it has a resolution. So it wasn't intended to be sarcastic, but I can see how some of the words that
I think bitterness is more the word I'm thinking, like a bitterness kind of sarcastic in saying that, like, no tears.
Yeah.
Like, there's something a little bit we can chuckle at in the lyric, but maybe a bitterness is what I'm looking for.
Well, the other chuckle is "He's dead, I live." I mean,
right?
I love the lyrics. By the way,
that "He's dead, I live" is just sort of like the consolation prize.
Yeah.
He hasn't. I was trying to figure, as I was writing the song, I was trying to figure out how this guy, who's a really good guy in so many areas, just could not get the fact that he's someone's father. And maybe it didn't matter to the kid. I don't know. But
so you never met the kid?
I never met the kid.
That's interesting. You're writing the kid's story.
Never
knew from the father.
Yeah, that's right. I'm processing my own confusion. I'm trying to make this make sense somehow. And so that's exactly right. I never knew the kid.
Really nice.
I knew what happened after he started, accepting paternity and so forth. And he was my client, but we never really talked about it afterwards. It was just so much cognitive dissonance that some guy could be such a really good person, but have this one spot that didn't work, one blind spot.
Sort of dissociated from that relationship then.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's a great interpretation of likely consequences, knowing what I think you know as a therapist and what I know as a therapist, when we would get the story of the kid from somebody else, those kinds of really jumbled feelings are absolutely archetypal in some ways. The sense of abandonment, loss, etc., confusion. Why?
Yeah. And Rick, I on more than one occasion as I was working through it, I remember I was thinking of this is sort of the other side of Philomena in a sense.
Yeah. It's I find it. I mean, I think it makes me. It stirs some feelings inside me, and and it's so interesting to me. There's so many facets. I'm speaking of the father, to one's personality. It's peculiar to me that how he kind of dealt with this dissonance in his life, this moment, and how and what is he? How do you negotiate your way through that? I would find it hard to neglect somebody that I was responsible for bringing to the earth. And it's just like, how you'd want to ask this guy, well, what are you doing? And is it worth this rejection if the price you're paying is to have a loving relationship with somebody else? And that's one of the most, time and love are just irreplaceable in this world. You can't buy those things. You can't borrow them. And it just seems to me that the guy who died, I mean, to me, he totally missed the boat. I know he's got other kids, but to me, the real tragedy is that this guy could have had his flesh and blood, could have had a really meaningful relationship if he would have dealt with the dissonance of social issues and of that being the case. And to me, I think that that might have been I think that addressing that in the song would be really good.
Yeah.
But that's the kid asking his dad, why did you? I mean, where does this pain come from, and why is he angry? And it's because he's rejected, and that leaves a hole in his heart. He doesn't, it's like it's like the floor that we walk on are our parents' love, and when it's not there,
Did he have a good stepfather?
Well, you see,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know that he ever had a stepfather. I know that his mother was very, responsible and very loving. And the funny thing is, this happened a lot of years ago, and I spoke with this father kind of every year, even after I stopped practicing law for a long time. And I kept thinking that something might click and that something might change, but it just never did. And
the other thing, David, I mean, I think that the whole thing about coming into the church and reading the what would be the term, eulogy, or the accounting of this guy's life, and to have the different, having his family and his kids mentioned, but not him, cut through me. I mean, just like stab me with a knife, and that kind of thing is like, woof. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, when I read it, I took it very personally, and I don't know why. But again, that was the seed of the song.
I don't know if you've ever watched the series. I'm rewatching it as we speak, my wife and I, and it's called Bloodlines, and it addresses the subject. That's why I was kind of taken by it, because I'm watching this show, and it's very, very much about what you just put in music. And it's a drama. It's a very good series. Very good series. It's on Netflix if you're looking for something to watch. Very, very well put together. And but it addresses a similar situation where this son is abused by this father, and the whole family spends their life kind of dancing around it. And the father writes him out of the will. It's damaged the whole family dramatically, and it's depicted really well in this television series. And I think it's odd or ironic that all of a sudden I'm watching this thing and this song, addresses it not directly but thematically. It's very well, very good.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I think the way you've articulated your understanding of the kid's experience, it so articulates the most profound wound of abandonment in childhood, and it's kind of like an assault in absentia. What happens when a parent does that to a child? But it ends up in the psyche.
Right.
Really,
and it's not like he was a drunk and a philanderer. He just,
Right.
this was the one of it. It was just, it's just not black.
It's very complicated.
It's complicated. That's right. That's what
very complex and very, damaging in many ways, but it's just the way it is. In some cases, unfortunately.
Well,
thank you, guys.
Thanks, David. Either way, yeah. And before we all start talking about our fathers and everything, remember I can't because he's right here, so.
He'll forget.
Thank you, David, for your song. And I think the crowning thing that was said there was when Rick said, was it love and time are something invaluable? Yeah, let's remember that. And let's move on to something. I think I'd like to do Victor Harrison's next. Something nice. But sorry. One reminder, folks. I want to do a score update. Hang in there.
Score update.
Yes, a score update. So far, David Hirschberg still has the best bass trophy in his possession.
Oh, wait,
he likes the harmonic movement of your song, and that really counts, because there were some moments when your music had like half step motion and stuff like that, and I like that too. But Dave's still got everybody beat, so we'll see what happens in the next couple songs. But all right. But anyway, sorry. Next, Victor Harrison. I hear you have something lush and beautiful for us, or something about a wonderful place.
Well, this is an instrumental. I just wrote it, and it's acoustic, and it just kind of fell out of my guitar. I was just picking around and playing in these open tunings, and this song came out, and I recorded it, and it sounded pretty good, and so I
named it Escalante.
It's called Escalante, and then I have an old buddy who is a drummer, and I gave him a call and played it for him. I said, "Would you be interested in putting a percussion track on it?" So he did. He tried it, and he enhanced. He's got a studio. He enhanced the sound a little bit of the guitar. So it's a little long, but I think it sounds pretty good, and I hope you enjoy it.
All right, here comes Escalante. I don't care if that's the last music I ever heard. I should have shared this when I
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah. Oh,
Like,
here I got let me get another. I think I got a better picture of it. No, that's all right. Yeah, that's the commercial. That's the website. I thought I downloaded the picture itself. But anyway, yeah. Oh, here it is. There, let me share this instead. Yeah.
Ooh.
Victor, that's lovely. I mean, I think my favorite parts are when the highest notes in the melody were played. So like they happen in three distinct parts of the song. I think I especially like the third one the best, but definitely the drums added to the not the bandwidth, the range. Sorry, the range is that he really dipped lower than your guitar could, but also kept the pace there when you wanted to draw back and let the chord roll out. It's very nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's
what
lovely.
tuning did you use, Victor?
Yes,
What tuning?
that's an open G.
Okay.
So Victor, I know you said it just sort of fell out of your guitar, but can you tell me more? At the
Well,
risk of
I've just
sounding like a
been-
therapist.
I've
I
been
mean,
playing a
what were
lot
you
in
thinking and what
open-
were you feeling? What put it together? Because and we can talk about me anytime, but I got a real sharp visual impression of it. So
Oh,
what
did
were
you?
you what were you
Okay.
thinking?
I'd be interested in hearing that. Well,
Well,
I
you
sit in
first.
this room here, and I've got all these guitars, and when I go away on a trip, I tune them down, put them in their cases, and put them in the basement. And then it takes me various intervals to get them back, and playing them. And so this was the last one, this guitar that I hadn't played for a while. And this is the guitar, that's the guitar, and that's the tuning that Just a Moment is written in, a song that David and I were working on for a while, a song I wrote a long time ago. So it's in that tuning as well. So I've written a lot of songs, now, a good fair amount of songs in open G. And I like playing this kind of, I've been, even on my standard tuning, I've been playing I've got a lot of, like down, that song I wrote, Peter, Doggy Came Running, right there.
Yeah.
So I've written a lot of kind of Spanish kind of influence, for some reason I like that. You can write a lot of those C, G, and E and D songs, or you use a lot of dyads. You can go up and down and write little melodies around. So I was just playing around on this tuning, and I'd written a slide song, which I think Jason heard it, Picking and a Sliding, and it's almost the same chords. And then I just started playing this, and just simple chords. There's like 2 or 3 chords, and just with dyads and triads and single notes, just threw it together, and it just rolled.
Almost
right
sounds
off
like
the-
you're playing a dulcimer.
I know exactly.
Mhm.
It is a very dulcimer-like sounding, like particularly the leads. Those are just dyads going up and down the scale, in different patterns. So yeah, it's so much fun to play because you can play it fast or slow, and it's a pick and roll song.
Well, some of those tunings you almost can't make a mistake. That everything.
That's right.
Yeah, that's the kind of
Yeah.
tuning I like, Ed.
Yeah.
I like them the best.
And if you do make a mistake, that's good.
Yeah.
You practice it like
Oh,
Sandy.
go with it. Yeah. Yeah.
Do it each time it comes around. It's not a mistake anymore.
That's
And
right.
again,
And then I just, for
A
some
new
reason,
discovery.
I've never been to Escalante, and I don't, my son, as I said, I just couldn't. I was thinking of a title. I was thinking about with lyrics. I had some ideas in my mind of of a character named Escalante, some kind of a modern day American cowboy or something. I don't know. I didn't really give it that much thought, but it sounded because it was fine the way it is. But now I was just thinking, I don't know, for some reason the name Escalante just kind of again just
it
appeared,
fits.
and I thought it would be a good title.
It's got a climbing thing to it, up and down, and big and spacious like that picture too. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah, I think we'd make
just-
a nice theme for a movie, or a Western or
Mhm.
some kind of
I was sitting on a burro. I was sitting on a burro
Oh,
ambling
yeah.
along the
burro.
trail, not unlike the one that was just before the end of that Escalante picture that you put up, that image you put up. Yeah, I was just like I was on a ride. You said roll, I say amble,
Yeah, there you
It
go.
was just a very pleasant journey.
Yeah.
Victor, do you
Yeah,
ever think of creating an album of these solo guitar pieces you play? Because I think they
I got enough of them, I guess. I probably could. I need to go
Are
in the
they all in G?
studio and do better versions of them because those are just recorded. That was just recorded on my iPhone.
Yeah.
Which did a pretty good job.
I know, that's amazing what those things do. Yeah.
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 So in any case, I thought I'd share it with you guys as a little Christmas present for y'all.
Yeah. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
It's very nice.
Thank you.
Holiday,
Holidays.
holiday present, Hanukkah, Christmas, New Year's.
Kwanzaa. Yeah. Yeah.
Just one other question. When did you do this? How long ago?
Just last week.
Oh,
Yeah, it's brand new.
so it's
Brand new.
yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Okay.
All right.
So I think we got two pieces left. Yes. Okay. I think next I'd like to go with the Peter Lloyd piece. We need something a little faster.
Little what's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know that I do I have any pictures? There's no pictures. I have written one of my best songs, I think, is Skink the Lizard, putting lyrics to Mozart. And this I've always, bounced around in my head Eine kleine Nachtmusik and a little night music. And then I said, well, what's going on with this song? What is this song all about? And it hit me that it's very proud. Hold on a second. That's Real Roots. This is.
Is there any chance maybe you can play just a short snippet, just those opening few bars of?
Well, I'm going to, because all I've got, in fact, it's the whole thing of my song takes 1 minute, so I'll play that, and then go ahead, and then I'll you'll recall as I go over the lyrics. I think you'll recall where they fit in, and then I have a question about what to do about this thing. So yeah, I'll do that. There's Mr. Mozart, and here's the thing I'm going to put lyrics to. Takes a second. Okay, that's where it stops. Now I'm going to share my lyrics, and if you recall, I mean, there are a couple little moves in there, and it made me think to me, this sounded very proud and cocky. And I went ahead and wrote these lyrics. Now, the indented part, I see the peacock doing the main part, and then maybe like some like three women, doing this indented part, and they're admirers, sort of like Ray Charles's Rayettes or whatever. But anyway, so I'm going to try to give you the how I think you'll recall as I say these. Look around and see if you can see any bird as beautiful as me. My splendor is notorious, my plumage glorious, my iridescent eyes brighter than the sunrise, pretty as the moon, glow deeper than the ocean, bluer than the skies. I am wisdom, serendipity, enlightenment, elegance, and wealth, they say. I am feminine divinity, longevity, pure happiness and health, elegance and wealth. Yes, I bring them all to you in living peacock's blue. It's what I love to do. He feels cocky, so would you. If you had a peacock plume, have you ever seen such lovely eyes, such lovely eyes? I see a pretty little peahen. She's in the mood for mating. Now I'm losing the melody. You mustn't never keep her waiting. I make my fan much larger, and then I start to charge her. I rattle every feather until we get together. Easy as pie, easy as pie. You mesmerize your pretty peahen with 100 dazzling eyes. Repeats. I make my fan much larger, and then I start to charge her. I rattle every feather until we get together. Easy as pie, easy as pie. You mesmerize your pretty peahen with 100 dazzling eyes. No cockadoo would ever do the voodoo I can do. That's why it's true. Mother Nature loves you more than you. Now,
Is there a
I
chance?
either go through it all again and then do the coda, which is at the end of this thing. Mother Nature loves me more than he loves you. Mother Nature loves you so much better, so much better. I'm her proof. Yes, Mother Nature loves you. Yes, it's true. Mother Nature, it's true. Yes, it's true. That's the end of I can't do that. So the question is, does it work? And I can give the peacock everything. In other words, prettier than the sunrise, happier than the health. I feel cocky, so would you. I could change it all. But I like this give and take with the ladies. And okay, what do you think?
That's a production, man. That's great.
Wow.
Yeah, is there any chance we can get you to? I'm not joking either. Like, would you say it and perform it with that YouTube recording?
Well, I hope you can hear me over it. Then let's try that.
That's true. We'll see what happens. I think we'll be able to.
I got to go back to the beginning now. So
you
won't
sing it.
I think we'll only be able to see it, or you'll have. I think you'll have to do the YouTube sharing, and we won't be able to see the words. Therefore, but.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna do a new share to make sure I got the sound on.
I wonder if you could slow it down and do it.
Yeah, I wish I could, because that's he is really
videos generally.
Yeah, he's very fast.
You generally can slow down a YouTube video. You just
will it be in the same key and everything, or what?
Yeah, look at the settings, the little gear. I think it is settings, and you should be able to do that.
Playback speed normal. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Let's do half speed.
You can
do
do
75%.
Yeah, 75. Try it. Well, you may want to try it at half speed and just
Okay.
Custom and just take it
down.
down.
Won't have to stretch.
Let's see.
Stretch it, and then you can start speeding it. Once you do it, you can start speeding it up and do it in real time.
Around and see if you can see any bird as beautiful as me. My splendor is no time. Okay.
You didn't share the recording with us yet.
Okay. I'm sorry, I wasn't sharing. It's important to share, Peter. Learn to share. Here we go. It takes a second. It doesn't start right at the beginning. So here we go. Look around and see if you can see. Is that good? Any bird as beautiful as me. My splendor is notorious. My plumage glorious. my iridescent eyes. Brighter than the sunshine, pretty as a moonbow, deeper than the ocean, bluer than the skies. I am wisdom, serendipity, and elegance and wealth. They say I am feminine divinity, longevity, pure happiness and health. Happiness and health, elegance and wealth. Yes, I bring them all together in very peacock blue. It's what I love to do. Go would you if you had a peacock blue? Have you ever seen such lovely eyes, such lovely eyes? I see a pretty little peahen. She's in the mood for mating now. You mustn't ever keep her waiting. Get ready, be steady, let's go. I make my fan much larger, and then I start to charge her. I rattle every feather until we get together. Easy as pie, you easy as pie. You mesmerize your pretty peahen with 100 dazzling eyes. I make my fan much larger, and then I start to charge her. I rattle every feather until we get together. Easy as pie, easy as pie. You mesmerize your pretty peahen with 100 dazzling eyes. No cockadoo could ever do the voodoo. You know I can do, that's why it's true. Mother Nature more than you. Now, I'm going to do something here real quick. I'm going to get you to the end so you can hear the coda. Easy as pie, you mesmerize your pretty peahen with 100 dazzling eyes. Oh, cock. Oh, I should have gone farther, but this is the repeat.
Keep going.
I rattle every feather until we get together. Easy as pie, you mesmerize your pretty peahen with 100 dazzling eyes. No cockadoo could ever do the voodoo. You know I can do, that's why it's true. Mother Nature loves me so much better. Mother Nature loves you so much better, so much better. I'm her proof. Mother Nature loves me more than she loves you. Yes, Mother Nature loves me more than she loves you. It's true. Yes, it's true. There it is. Maybe some.
Bravo.
That gives us
Maybe-
much better sense of how it's pans out.
Yeah. So in other words, it is a first movement, but there's 4 times he goes through the thing, and the third time is a little bit of a variation, and the last time has that coda. So I don't know whether I should do it twice. It's like 1.5 minutes once. So maybe I'll just do the last one with the coda instead of, but I think it's fun to, it goes by so fast. I don't know. It's a big story. Does it need to be repeated? Should I do the chorus and the peacock, or should I let the peacock have it all? Or what do you think? Or first of all, what about it? Am I wasting my time?
I think it's an amazing exercise, Peter, to make up a story that goes with that fits so well.
I know.
And I had 2 images. One is you in a peacock costume on a stage of an opera, or an animated peacock character singing this with all this orchestra behind you. It's hilarious and ridiculous on the one hand, but it's so ingenious what you've done with your lyrical interpretation of that classic piece of music. It's really, really wonderful.
You have been doing it for a long time, because I don't ask me to recite much more than a line or two, but I remember you doing this a long time ago when I was a kid. However, the opening words were like, oh no, oh gee, I've got to fart. Well,
really? I did that. I wrote David, the first music you ever heard, bringing you home from the hospital was.
Is that it?
No. Was Your Brain. I wrote a song called Your Brain. Remember
yeah.
Your Brain?
That's a good one.
You were born with one essential fundamental thing that no one ever will explain. And if you use it with a bit of common sense, you will avoid a lot of useless pain. Don't ever forget to use. Don't be afraid to use your brain. And that was my advice to my son. And it's got 4 verses in it about being fooled and being tricked, but just use your head, use your brain. And then I did the Skink the Lizard. To the rondo in Turkish rondo, and then this, and I just love doing it. I've done, I mean, I mean, collaborating with you guys is great, but Mozart,
Well,
man, he got
you know
off.
Yeah, you like to get your name first too.
Of
where
course.
where you're at now is where they were at in that Mel Brooks, The Producers. Now you got to find some lovely old ladies who have a lot of money to spend.
Yeah, yeah,
Go with them and
yeah.
take the money, and then you can put this show on.
Yeah, and then of course the whole thing, Mabley's Mind, Victor, the Tchaikovsky violin concerto.
Yeah, this isn't your first, so
yeah.
you just gotta.
I like working with these guys, Pete and.
What about the Sloth song?
See, I was when
Sloth.
I heard you singing that, I was thinking of Bugs Bunny dressed up as a peacock.
Yeah. Yeah. Peter, what about the Sloth song?
The what?
Sloth.
Yeah, you have one for the.
The curmudgeon. Yeah, the curmudgeon is
No, the Sloth. The Sloth song.
Elvira
Sloth. SLOTH.
Oh, the sloth. Yeah, that's not declared a loon. That's
That's a great one. Have you ever played that one for these guys?
no.
Oh, that's a beautiful.
So the sloth song is Elvira Madigan.
Oh yeah.
The sloth, and it's all about a sloth coming down off the tree and mating and going back. I mean, it takes all day, and yeah,
It's beautiful.
After all, it's a sloth.
Well,
sloth.
yeah.
SLOTH. I'm sorry, I wasn't understanding that.
So Peter, how many of these do you have with rewrites of formerly respected music?
My website has them sorted, and so I could look that up real quick on SoundCloud. Really here, hold on a second.
Do you have a playlist, a SoundCloud playlist of this?
Yes, I have a SoundCloud playlist. Yeah,
Of these?
of my.
You can definitely link them in the newsletter.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
good deal.
Yeah.
Mhm. And then there's and it's not I mean, David Brown heard the Elvira Madigan. He said it was, and the way I did it is I found the music and I made a machine play it, and it was, he said the whole thing was terrible piano, and it, because I also have Eine kleine Nachtmusik and the music score program that David and I have that plays it, but it sounds terrible. I mean, all the notes are right. There's just no feeling in it. But getting the thing done is always a big project. Yeah.
Oh, it's
But
a
they're
very
fun.
very ambitious project, and it's so well executed. We're all witnesses to genius here, guys. If you haven't realized it yet.
A lot of energy and got to put it somewhere. Yeah.
What's good about yours, Dad, is the material's already written. It's like there's no copyright laws.
Yes, exactly. That's a wonderful
Yeah,
thing.
you don't even need to mention Mozart.
Don't
Yeah,
even
I know, but
I need this.
I don't want to piss him off.
Somebody's going to recognize it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, well, that's cool. I think we brought up 2 albums that are songwriting.
Oh yeah.
They both have a very singular goal, or very well-rounded story to them or something. Anyways, I just think it's proof that this club is working, is doing what it's meant to do.
Thank you.
Better songwriters. All right, so our last piece of the evening is by Ed, and I think the title of it is great for, especially as our last piece. It is called "Music Was the Medicine of the Evening." Ed, tell us about that.
Well, you guys heard of a partial draft of it 2 times ago, I think. I missed y'all in November being in California. And it was, I think the story tells itself. And what I'm trying to do is figure out how I'm going to make it into a musical. So to make it more musical, and that will probably change some of the lyrics. But I like it as a poem. And it's about reconstituting ourselves when we have serious grief. And so it's a little cousin to part of what David wrote or played for us earlier.
So, Ed,
Does that file I send you work to share?
it's on the desktop. Well, what you sent me is a message, and I've let me see if I got it here. I don't want to show the message. Yeah, here it is. Yes, I'll. You want to read it? Are you going to read it? I'll just put it up.
Yeah.
And you decide what to do. Does it show?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's just a page, and
Yeah, and you'll scroll it down as it goes.
yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a first. This is our first poem going to be read at the Songwriters Club.
Yeah,
Although,
it's a pre-song version, I hope.
Yeah, right. But yeah, this is interesting. Thank you. Take it away.
Okay. Sitting by the fire, sad news fills the air. Grief, a thick haze, more acrid than wood smoke. Sad news fills the air, more acrid than wood smoke. Tragic news sucks the air of gasping breath. Mourning feels like pounding ocean waves, crushing, overwhelming, breaking things apart, squeezing out all the air, squeezing out all the air. She sat within the company of a circle of friends. She sat surrounded in safety and attention, missing her child, missing her dead child. A group of women sang. You and I stood across from each other. You played and sang. I played and sang. We played together. The voices and instruments tended to the heart of the matter, tended to the heart of the matter. Music was the medicine of the evening. Then waves recede as an inhale, softer, in calmer, safe enough retreat. Relief. The safety of friends layered as a buffer for the aching reality, a buffer for the aching reality. Music was the medicine of the evening. Morning is a wild fire, sucking air and woodland fuel, propelling destruction, desperate for extinguishing from soothing, cool water. Soothing, cool water. Still, grief returns like an unwelcome house guest. It doesn't want to go away. It doesn't want to go away. Grief can feel intrusively present, persistent in regular showings on the back of the skull screen, on the back of the skull screen. Yet, grief reorganizes, transforms, somehow, when protected, attended to, and expressed in safety. When received in a secure haven of mourning, a haven of mourning that allows a gradual digesting, one bite at a time, until it's possible to taste the bitter loss and the sweetness of loving memory. One bite at a time, until it's possible to taste the bitter loss and the sweetness of loving memory together. Together. A recurring respite in repeated rhythm of relief then pain, back and forward, ebb in the flow, ebb in the flow. We all sat by the fire. We all sat in the deep paradox of mystery, life and death, love and loss, life and death, love and loss. Archetypal, unavoidable rhythms of universal human experience. Music was the medicine of the evening. Music was the medicine of the evening.
This is more than I can absorb. This is rich. This is,
Thank you.
Yes, it is.
oh man, there's so many spots in here where I kind of gasp for breath.
Mhm.
I like the repetitions. There's so many wonderful lines in here. Oh yeah, especially grief returns like an unwelcome guest. And a bunch of other things, many others. There's one point I didn't know if you were going to repeat, and I didn't think you were, and then you did.
Yeah, it was kind of nice. There were times where I began to expect it, and others when I didn't, and that was neat. That
Yeah.
you didn't have it. I mean,
It's not in the
that was
text
for
yet.
effect or anything, but it was neat to watch you do it and wonder, is it going to do it here, or is it then it comes out?
Yeah, I may some point write it out the way I want to repeat it, but I think actually feeling different places that jump out at me at the moment, that gets the repeat. So it comes with the feeling of the reading.
Wow. You want to? What's going on with this? I mean, what prompted it? What's behind it? Do we need to know or not?
I can't. I'm unfortunately having trouble remembering where it was when we last heard it. I guess you said it was October, was it? Or
I think so, because
Yeah.
I missed the November meeting. I had just gotten started with it, and I had about maybe 30% of it. And what was really helpful was what surprised everybody about getting a song that was in its beginnings instead of the completed thing that we all usually present to one another. And so that was tremendously helpful to me to think of what I had. And Rick, you gave me some really interesting things to think about in terms of the complexity of it and how do I get some things out of the way and emphasize others, and which lengthened it. But I feel like it's more powerful now to really take the time that the event deserves. It was a fire night, music night of consolation for a woman who had very recently lost her daughter to a drug overdose. Everybody there knew this woman at some level or other. And
do you
a
have
group of women sang a whole bunch of songs. This guy named Rob played a bunch of things. I played, and then he did a really gentle version of Freight Train, and I was kind of noodling around on the guitar from across the fire, and it just felt like such a powerful musical medley of moments, if you want. There were very few spoken words, and the woman she sat there, took it in, a hand on a shoulder from her dear friend who sat next to her, and we were all just really, dare say, blessed in the process that happened in an effort to console and accompany her in this interminable pain,
Do you know where you're going to go musically? Where you want to do?
Can you play? Do you have a guitar or want to play anything?
No, I had something I started with, and I got to go back and look at my phone to see what did it. So it'll be some finger picking style thing, but also there'll be some rhythmic things, I think, that emphasize some of the more powerful pieces.
You can even weave, Freight Train into it.
Yeah, I was thinking of that.
That
But
would be
next I think of Jason. Jason?
Yeah. Freight
You
Train.
guys, we're here to collaborate too.
That's
I'd
right.
volunteer if I were a better song, melody. You know what I mean? If I felt more confident as a melody maker, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I have to spend a bunch of time feeling the rhythm of the lyrics
Mm-hmm.
because they're sort of long, and it would almost be like have to be a operatic aria in some ways to sing all that text. But I also feel like the reading repetitions would make really nice musical repetitions, and maybe a little guitar interlude that accompanies or expands that sort of thing. Because I think the text really deserves a lot of space. I know
Right.
it's dense imagery and there's a lot of feeling attempted at least. And so it deserves the digestion time and a little contemplation.
Yeah, I bet if you put it to music, I bet you'd change things like this. Instead of sad memories in the air, you just say sadness in the air. Or
Yeah,
instead of then at the end,
Yeah.
archetypal something or other, you might just say cliche blah 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 or something like, maybe
yes.
I know that's a different meaning, but yeah, no, you're right. There are spots of it that are, especially when you're repeating, very musical, but some of it's, yeah, you're right, would require almost the operatic recitative approach.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't had time to spend with that level of it yet, that next effort. So to be continued.
I think we're
Mm-hmm.
always, as a group, aren't we always for the less is more option? Like if he wants to
Yes,
go, just then
Mm-hmm.
get out the machete, hack off some of those words, and
absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so that's actually, I mean, that's a good point. And that's kind of the way we typically do it. But the question is, there's always a trade-off.
Yes.
Because it is dense and you put a lot of thought into the words, the images, and so forth. And as I was thinking about it, it's kind of like a movie of words, just sort of, you see the images. And I was trying to think of how I would write a song make a song out of this. And I don't see how you can make a song without losing some of that richness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's not to say that you couldn't pick it up in some other way,
Yes.
but
well, it's a different medium in some respects, a poem and a song.
yes.
And songs are poetic, obviously.
Yeah.
But
it reminded me of Lawrence Ferlinghetti, reciting one of his, epic poems. And I think it's, your voice, you've got a good voice, a very,
Mm-hmm.
and I liked it just the way it was. I just had a rhythm to it. And I mean, if you want to weave some music in it there, I think the freight train thing is good because it's kind of very expressionistic in a lot of ways. And that's kind of a freight train, and it's a great song because there's so many dynamics to it. You can play in so many different styles.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Well, I wonder if maybe not using such something memorable or noticeable or iconic, because as music, as a musical basis, because if you think about the situation, people are sitting around a fire, people are maybe talking. A lot of it's not necessarily one orchestrated thing going on. So maybe your music is more like background music while poetry is read over top of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and what's coming to me right now is the thought of mixing the spoken part and a musical part. So like music was the medicine of the evening, could be a musical hook, if you will, but have its own refrain kind of quality to it, and maybe some other parts of it with more extended versions that give me an opportunity to keep the best of the imagery, like you're suggesting, David.
And maybe you can even use some ambient, sound effects or campfire sounds, night sounds, that are just
Jason,
atmospheric. That make it a little more, with you reciting the poetry and then have some musical, maybe a little bit of touches, freight train or whatever you want, original music or whatever.
I'll have to get one
things
of you
that
guys
happen around
give
the
me a
fireplace.
lesson.
You just create the image.
Yes.
I always see things visually. That's just the way I think. But it's like a little movie almost. And you can really create the emotional imagery and tension and emotion. Of the word of the poem.
Thank you.
I see it more as a poem than a lyrical piece.
I think that first of all, I think some of the words that you've got are difficult when it comes to lyrics,
Yeah.
like acrid.
Archetypal.
Acrid, okay? But what I'm thinking is that there could be a section of this music that's a chant, and it's very repetitious.
Mhm.
What you do is you create an ambiance, and then you start reading this poem, and then you break into like these, like everybody around the fire would be singing this, something very thematic, very simple,
Yes.
and repetitious, and then you come back to the poetry, and then you do that again, and break it up that way in a way that you have like a choral. It's a choral section, or a section of the piece that speaks to the theme of the piece itself, that music was the medicine of the night. Something along with, but would those, that doesn't have to be the lyric, but something like that says that in a couple couplets. That
Yeah,
could
yeah.
that last line of the two couplets, something that ties it together and allows people in the audience to participate in that regard of the whole vehicle of expression
Yes.
of grief. I mean,
Yes.
that's what it's all about. To me, it's supposed to be this vehicle where people can participate, listen, and maybe sing and express their grief, and use it as
Yes.
a vehicle
Yes.
to express it.
Yeah. That's a great support for things that are going through my mind here, Rick. Because I've made my life doing music with live things, liturgical settings and retreats, and high participation concert style that I've always done. And to imagine, like you say, a kind of quiet chant that becomes a backdrop for the denser lyric part of it, and then maybe even another piece that would be almost like a refrain. But the chant is a different kind of quality of accompaniment than a repeated chorus or refrain. So having two versions of that, perhaps.
Yeah,
really,
I don't know what I mean chant. I guess I'm throwing around these words without.
Well, chant is to me it's some kind of a what do they call it? Like a descant in some places, where you have some phrase that gets repeated along with.
Yeah.
Cantus firmus.
I'm sorry.
It's sort of not.
Cantus firmus. Sorry.
It's a little bit broader than that, is what I'm listening to. And another thing that would be kind of interesting to do is to put a simple rhythm instrument to this, so that you're reciting this poetry, and then this theme or chorus or whatever, and it's kind of like it helps tie this whole thing together. I mean, just a thought.
Yeah, and if I could ever get the technology together, I wouldn't be able to do it live very well, but to do some sort of a background component with that handpan drum that I have, the metal one, which is so evocative in terms of mood and rhythms.
I think for contrast too, you want something, and it's about a woman, right? I mean, it's really, so you need to have something feminine going on there, I think, also. And I was thinking like a Greek chorus or something, with of not necessarily singing words, but humming, or doing just singing.
Good thought, Victor. It doesn't. It's more an expression of the grief that melodically. It doesn't have to be lyrical in a sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's more gospel, more almost gospel.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Speaking of gospel, I studied to be a Franciscan priest, and I was inundated with Gregorian chant. And
there you
go. Let me just try to the fame. Those guys, and they were all guys, came up. They studied. I mean, they went. Dies irae, dies illa, all they I mean, that kind of stuff. Search some of that Gregorian chant of
Yeah.
and big male voices, but then you could change all that, and it's just that stuff is, some of that stuff is so beautiful. We used to sing one every night when we closed to go. We had a little so-called party, called them solemn recreations, and Ultima. Yeah, I mean, I can't sing that one very well. There's one called Ultima, and there's one called Dies Irae.
Yeah.
I can help you find some of that stuff. It's just,
Well, there's all those things from the liturgy of the hours, the compline at night and the laws and stuff in the morning, all that stuff.
It's soothing and beautiful, and I couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah, I think.
I understand.
I also think Rick was talking
but I think it's got to be
that type of format. He meant you also meant as in just in a way a refrain is like a sing along, a join in, a
participation.
I think Victor said it best, like in a gospel,
spiritual, more not even gospel. Spiritual is more. I was thinking.
Yeah,
something much more spiritual. That's why it's these women dressed up in these white gowns that are flowing and and they're just
take me to
emoting and just accenting and just raising the emotion of the poetry and the reading, and something just very dramatic. I mean, not overly done, but just poignant.
Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff in gospel.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I hear a tale, Peter.
I hear tell. Yeah. When I close my eye, oh my God!
What a nice.
So it's more. So it's not a song, Ed.
It's a production.
It's not pop. It's not top 40.
Yeah,
we're getting you ready
I
for
don't
the
expect it is.
Metropolitan Opera.
right.
The only way you could make it a song is to write a song about the poem.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
Probably.
It's fun
something
talking
related.
about it.
Yeah, because they
brainstorming.
Yeah, this is really
a lot of
fun
good
and
ideas.
helpful. So appreciate
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
It's good stuff, I mean, this is thoughtful stuff. It's it's got intellect. It's got it's got emotion. We have some very, very important things we're addressing, and they're being done very creatively. And there's a lot of talent here. There's a lot of things that could be done with some of these things that people aren't.
There's a nice narrative too, a nice scene here. The women singing.
And I wanted to say, that's actually one thing I did want to say, Ed. I remember when you first presented it, it's much more focused. It's much easier to follow. Clearly,
Yeah.
have done a lot of work
Thank you.
on it.
Great.
Thank you.
More to come. Appreciate it.
I think it's
More
a
to
great title for our last piece of the evening too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thank our sponsor, Real Roots, for
And Luthier on Luthier, I hear they're going to get us some sponsorships too, thanks to them.
Speaking of Real Roots, I'm sorry, I have to ask you, Jason. Did you say someone to have a drink with in the afternoon?
So meet up for a drink in the afternoon.
Yeah, like what time?
As long as it's afternoon.
happy hour.
Oh, so like
It's
12:01.
5 o'clock somewhere, David.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very non-judgmental invitation.
There you go.
Yeah.
Public area.
Who's the bass winner? Who's the bass winner, David?
Oh, thanks for asking. Well, I I took into consideration, like I said, some of the harmonic motion in Jason's pieces, and the fact that Victor had that nice low bass tune in the percussion instrument that was sometimes swooping real low. Yeah, but when it comes to bass lines, guys, sorry, Dave's got it again. Dave's gonna win it again. He's got a perfect record.
What about Wolfgang? What about
I'm
Wolfgang?
sorry.
Did you hear the bass line in that thing?
You didn't write that, and there are plenty of it. Better.
You had to point that out, didn't you, Dave? Had to throw that up in his face.
So the undefeated champion again. This
way to go!
I want David. The pressure is getting to me.
You're gonna start leaving the bass out of your songs there, Dave?
Yeah, this is just drums and guitar.
All about the bass.
Well, I mean, yeah.
But thank you. It's an honor for a bass player to appreciate my bass
There
lines.
you go.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks everybody. It's been a pleasure, as it always is. This has been
you
the
for
Art of
being
Songwriting
here.
for December 2023. And I wish you all a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, and anything else that you do around this time of year. Hopefully you do it and have a
House
great
cleaning.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess we'll see you next year.